Acclaimed horror video game getting Blumhouse movie adaptation. The acclaimed horror video game Dead by Daylight gets a Blumhouse movie adaptation, with James Wan's Atomic Monster helping develop the film. Blumhouse and James Wan's production company Atomic Monster joined forces to adapt the video game Dead by Daylight into a feature film. The popular multiplayer survival video game developed by Behavior Interactive made its debut across multiple platforms in 2016 and has continued to update to this day. In Dead by Daylight, 4 players are survivors that must escape a player-controlled killer, who must hunt them to appease an unknown, malevolent entity. As reported by Variety, Dead by Daylight is the next video game franchise that Blumhouse will adapt to the big screen. The production company will work alongside Atomic Monster and Behavior Interactive to adapt the game's lore into a feature-length film. While a director and screenwriter have yet to be found, Wan and Blumhouse founder Jason Blum released statements alongside the announcement. Both CEOs praised the game for its horror elements and promised to deliver a worthy adaptation of the game. Check out both statements below. Blum: We know there are so many fans of Dead by Daylight out there and think it's imperative we find someone who appreciates and loves the world as much as we do, to help us bring the game to the big screen. We know our partners at Behavior and Atomic Monster will help us bring the best version of this game to life. 1. In Dead by Daylight, the Behavior team has created a love letter to the world of horror, building an incredible environment teeming with atmosphere and terrifying villains, perfect for a scary cinematic adaptation. We're big fans of the game at Atomic Monster, and are thrilled to be teaming up with Blumhouse to bring this frighteningly visceral world to the big screen. What killers could feature in a Dead by Daylight movie? Dead by Daylight is no stranger to some of cinema's most recognizable figures in horror. Horror villain icons such as Halloween's Michael Myers, Stranger Things' Demogorgon, and the Ghostface Killer appeared in Dead by Daylight as part of collaborations with the franchise, allowing players to step into those monsters' shoes. Despite this, a Dead by Daylight film will more than likely focus on the game's original cast of survivors and killers rather than rely on pre-existing characters. This expectation suggests speculation on which killers could make their big screen debut in Blumhouse's upcoming adaptation. In Dead by Daylight, there are currently 20 original killer characters, including the serial killer Trickster, the Vengeful Spirit, and the group of killers known as the Legion. However, Blumhouse's adaptation may choose to focus on one of the 3 original killers that were included in the original base game: the masked hunter-trapper, the murderous mechanic Wraith, or the chainsaw-wielding hillbilly. Alternatively, rather than a single killer, Blumhouse production could feature multiple killers from the game's current roster of killers that serve the entity, with the mysterious being acting as the film's overarching villain. Dead by Daylight is an exalted horror video game due to its original cast inspired by decades of horror and its guest characters. Thus, the series making its way to the big screen under Blumhouse is a way to celebrate the game's impact. With a large selection of characters to choose from, the developing film leaves questions about who will take on the roles of the game's beloved survivors and killers.